on, everybody? Welcome to the East Coast Red and Gold podcast. I'm Niners Jess, along with Ty Alston, Maddie B, and your girl Bex. Happy Wednesday, finally. How's everyone doing?
Doing well. It's good to be back on a victory
doing a
Wednesday.
hell of a lot. Yeah, doing a hell of a lot better this week. Thanks.
There you
We're
go.
almost over the hump.
Thanks for checking.
I don't see anybody in the chat. Did we not?
Now we're, I think we should be okay.
Oh, okay. I wasn't sure.
Yeah, we should be good. I hope. All right. So without further ado, let's bring on our special guest. We got the legend himself, Damon Bruce.
You need a better brand of legend right off the bat. The show needs a better brand of legend right away. But look, I will say this. I joined you last year. It's great to be back with you again. I apologize for the stuffed up sounding voice I'm bringing on your podcast today. I'm a little under the weather, but this is just a fact. I'm just going to put it out there. Every single time I've joined this podcast, the 49ers go to the Super Bowl. So, we're going to keep it going, right?
There you go.
Absolutely.
Can't dispute the facts.
That's right.
For sure. All right, so let's get right into it. Kyle announced today that there were several
Jess?
players. What's that?
Oh, there she is. Okay, no, it was just me. You're good. You're fine. You're fine.
All right, you good there, Maddie? You all right?
I'm good. You're good.
All right, good. All right, so Kyle announced that several players were not practicing today. D. Winters, Chris Conley, Fred Warner, George Kittle, Gross Matos, and Jacob Cowing. Damon, as far as injuries this year, what do you make of all these injuries so far?
Well, look, it's football, right? Guys, it's amazing. Everyone isn't hurt on every single play of every single game. It really is. And nothing sounds too serious. It sounds like the Fred Warner ankle, which prevented him from coming back, is not that serious. But maybe this is the year where the 49ers are overplaying the serious nature of these injuries. The injury that I think is sort of hung over this entire season is the Christian McCaffrey. Remember, it turned out with his calf was funny. Then it was an Achilles. Then it's Achilles tendonitis. And now all of a sudden it's Achilles tendonitis in both times. There is a level of transparency that I don't really trust the Niners with. It feels like, Adam Schefter is reporting more clarity on this story than the actual 49ers are. And, you can call that skullduggery and trying not to, give too much away to your opponent. But it's always a little weird on the injury front around the 49ers. I thought part of their key to success last year was remaining basically injury-free. That obviously isn't available to them this year, but it's also early enough, and nothing severe has happened here where anyone's season has been taken away from them. Again, you can't take away something that you haven't had in the first place, and they haven't had Christian McCaffrey all year. And, I was talking about this with Larry Krueger on Wake Up, the show that we host 3 days a week. And I think he's got the right mindset. Forget about Christian McCaffrey. Just assume he doesn't play it down this year. And that should be the team's mindset going forward. And if he does show up, if he is able to put on the cape and swoop in to save the day, fantastic. But don't count on it. Don't count on it, Lois Lane. Superman might not be here. The really good news is that it seems that Jordan Mason is every bit an NFL starting running back. It's not like this guy is just some understudy. He's leading the league in carries. He's leading the league in yards, and he's been wildly impressive in every game so far that he's played. So the Niners, look, I know that it's been a lot of anxiety, and the anxiety goes back to training camp with the holdouts and the hold-ins, and Ricky Pearsall gets shot in broad daylight. All the bad omens that you could have coming into a year felt like they were around this team. Everybody got all aggro about the 1-2 start. Didn't like losing to a depleted Rams team. I get it, but I feel that week 4 was their best week in many months. Not only was it a good week for them, it was a good week for them in the division. And I really do think that the next 2 weeks might be the weeks where we really see the true 49ers reveal themselves as they're built. September is the new preseason in the NFL. And I think that they have worked themselves up into what they're about to be. And hopefully I'm right about that because the next 2 games are division opponents, so it's time to be right.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. I think these next 2 games are probably more important than beating Dallas or Kansas City when they come to town, because we always say, winning the division is what matters. That gets you in the playoffs.
Yep.
And you have to win those games. So I think beating the Cardinals and then beating the Seahawks is going to be as important as winning any of the other games.
Yeah, I mean, I totally agree. You want to be 4-2 going into Kansas City and Dallas.
Yep.
And, the Arizona Cardinals, God bless them. No matter what you hear about them, they always play the 49ers harder than the Niners probably expect. It's just the division opponent. Yeah. And then the Seahawks, I tell you, I'm really impressed by the Seahawks. They, on Monday night, had a game that invited them to quit on that game like 3-4 times. And they're still scratching and clawing to the very end. And they made what could have been a blowout interesting. And they're good. So that's going to be a short week for the Niners. But hopefully, like we're saying, gang, this is going to be the year or the weeks where they really start to figure out who they are. And, water sort of finds its own level now that the regular season preseason is over.
Yeah, I'm a little nervous about this Arizona game.
Why so?
I don't know. I just like Damon said, Arizona always plays us tough. And I don't know. I'm kind of nervous about it, and I'm not usually nervous about games.
Wow.
But I'm kind of nervous about this Arizona game.
What's going on up there in the corner? Who are you?
Yeah.
What's going on? That's usually stuff I'm saying. Like, the thing that I don't like about this game is the fact that last week, Arizona had to lose 42-14 to Washington. Like, so they're going to be a little extra motivated this week. Like they need the extra juice against the Niners, right? Now they're coming off of a 28-point loss that I'm pretty sure was on national television. So yeah, those are the things that make you wonder. And that Rams game was really just a carbon copy microcosm of the 2021 NFC title game. So yeah, I think we all have a right to be a little trepidatious about everything moving forward with this team. Yeah. Just because of all the reasons Damon just said, right? There's been a lot of omens with everything this year. But it was nice. The Patriots came in and they were the perfect, like, I'm not normally a ham dinner guy, but it was cooked perfectly, right? Came in,
served on the platter
with the trimmings,
yep,
little peach pie after, gluten-free, just in case, and we move forward.
I order my peach pie with extra gluten, actually.
Oh, good. Yeah, right up in a cup.
You're
right?
going with peach pie
right.
as well, right?
You can dip it, right? Yes, and that's fine too.
Well, I think one of the takeaways that's positive is, what did we say? It was going to take Trent and BA about 4 weeks to get themselves back into football shape. And I think we saw them turn a little bit of a corner this last game. And hopefully, their play continues to be better. And we see some additional targets to Brandon Ayuk. And, he's more involved in the game. And Trent Williams is holding up the left side, like he normally does. So, I think those guys are working themselves back into football shape and playing better week over week. So, maybe next week is a better week yet. So, I don't know. I saw some positives with that. Hopefully that.
We didn't even talk about Trent Williams after the last game, which means he had a really good game. When you don't talk about Trent, that means everything went right. I want this to be the week where Brandon Ayuk gets in the end zone. Fred Warner shouldn't have more touchdowns than Brandon Ayuk, but he does right now. So that's something that I really hope they correct. I thought that Purdy, his interception last week, he absolutely got greedy. He tried to force feed Brandon Ayuk because he's looking to, awaken a receiver who he depends on. And I really do think that this week is a get right week. The Cardinals have a bad defense. You can run it against them, you can pass it against them, and you can just move the ball on them. The question will be making sure a guy like Marvin Harrison Jr. doesn't take the lid off, a guy like James Conner isn't going for 5 yards a pop on you, and just keep Kyler in the pocket. Kyler Murray is getting better as a quarterback. There's no doubt. He's really improving. He's running less, but it's the old less is more. It's like the accessories. When you're accessorizing, you put everything on, and then you turn around in the mirror, and the first thing that catches your eye, you take it off because it's too distracting. Kyler Murray is now officially like an efficient runner. He's averaging 10 yards per carry this year through 4 games. He's throwing the ball about 25 times a game. The Cardinals are running, James Conner and that backfield that they have about 30 times a game. So you can expect a run-heavy Cardinal team, I think, coming to Levi Stadium, which will be a good test for what I hope is an improving defensive line. I don't want to say this because of the money that's committed to him, and he's not going anywhere anytime soon. But maybe Hargrave is a little addition by subtraction here. More snaps from Malik Collins. Jordan Elliott, hopefully that knee that he's dealing with is going to get him back on the field. I heard that Kalia Davis could be coming back. Sam Okwanu, hello, who are you? Fantastic. Let's keep that up, young man.
That's who stood out to me. Like, hello, hey, everybody, look at me. And Kalia Davis, by the way, Damon, Kalia Davis is forever coming back. Okay, like he's on his own. He's always on his way back. Okay,
you can't stop him from.
He
coming
went out
back.
to get lottery tickets a long time ago, Damon, and I guess he won because he hasn't returned.
Well, again, I think that you're looking at a team right now that's erring on the side of caution, hopefully with these injuries. They understand that after Arizona, they got a short week turnaround, so I think they're looking to buy a little time this week for time off. Next week, they had a day off on Tuesday, which was great because we are going through like a no-joke level heat wave out here in the Bay Area right now. I know that 95 degrees doesn't sound really hot to people living in Phoenix, but, you chose to live in an oven. We didn't. It's been really hot out here, and the team had one of the hottest days of the year off, and I just think Kyle is looking to buy time. Just buy time right now for guys. He's looking to get healthy again, and it's funny with the prospects of Ricky Pearsall coming back. I'm actually looking at like the getting healthy glass half full for the first time this year. So hopefully I'm right about that, and they put their best foot forward. Because if they don't, Arizona's the kind of team that's just waiting for you.
Yeah.
So I think these next 2 weeks are important. You want to go into Kansas City or have Kansas City come to Levi Stadium. You want that game looking at a 4-2 record, because I think Kansas City's a little vulnerable this year, even though they haven't lost a game yet. They're a little vulnerable. They certainly don't look like the Chiefs of yore. And then the Dallas Cowboys right now are kind of like a punching bag. So, you go into those 2 games 4-2. And there's a chance that you're sitting at 6-2 if you sweep that, and no one can possibly complain about a 6-2 start. And we had people ready to jump off the USS sinking Titanic at 1-2, which means everyone needs to calm down. There's a million miles of football season still left to travel, so everyone needs to relax a little bit. But next 2 weeks are huge.
Yeah, we definitely had our therapy session last week after that 1-2 start. Damon, through the first 4 weeks, who has stood out to you and not so much?
Well, obviously Jordan Mason, I think, is the story of the season so far. He's been fantastic. I think Fred Warner is beginning a Defensive Player of the Year level campaign. He has been spectacular. We sort of expect it from Fred, though. We just expect greatness out of him. So I would say that Mason, and then look, Brock Purdy. A lot of people said, well, you got to take Brock Purdy off the 49ers to see what he really is as a quarterback, which is a moronic statement just right away. But if you wanted, how about this? What if we take the 49ers away from Brock Purdy while he's still on the 49ers? Because that has sort of happened in the early going this year. And Brock's numbers have been phenomenal. He really has shown everyone who might still be in the, small pie slice of doubters about Brock Purdy that this guy's the real deal. I just thought he had one of the best games with his legs he's had as a professional. I love the way that he scrambled and didn't go broke, taking a profit, running for some 3rd and shorts. I thought that he did a great job in the pocket, just moving around and feeling pressure. I just think that Brock is more than what his doubters say he is, and he might officially be now living up to the hype of even his grandest supporters think he is. He's the real deal. This kid is a no joke level NFL quarterback who, if he continues to play like this, will have forced his way into the top 5 in the league conversation, and no one's going to be able to take it away from him. He's done a hell of a job this year with an offensive line that's been a little questionable, an offense that has lost Deebo Samuel snaps, Brandon Ayuk to just, lethargy, if we'll call it that. And obviously Christian McCaffrey, you take that away, a lot's supposed to function differently. It really hasn't. There's still an explosive play generating offense. And I think he's had a really good year. And I know that this is, people love to criticize Kyle Shanahan. I think Kyle Shanahan's having a good year offensively right now. Do not like special teams. This is a headache that will not go away. If you had to ask me what is forget about an incomplete. It's a failing grade right now on special teams. That needs to improve. And then play in the secondary, which I do think, is about to improve because this defensive line is about to improve, and those two things are linked together. I'm worried that Wishnowsky seems a little off. He's just not punting it like he normally does. And then kick return, punt returner, always good luck with that. So those are my complaints.
Purdy threw 3 touchdowns on one drive. I don't know how we question him anymore.
He seriously did. And I'll tell you, George Kittle is probably happy that those first 2 didn't count because he makes one of the great catches of his career. I mean, if Kittle goes into the Hall of Fame, they're going to show that catch in Canton as he's walking from the crowd, from the stage to the dais. That was one of the best plays and catches of his career.
If there's ever there's usually a series, but if you ever go watch a Barry Sanders highlight film, there's one where he takes on the Patriots in '94 and he causes the Patriots guy to go 360. The guy's name is Harlan Barnett. He's a college coach now.
Yeah.
I always see that, and you always think of that because that play was that exact same thing when you saw that happen. Like, if that dude, that catch is going to be shown for, that was insane. And P.S., who threw that, right? Takes a special quarterback to throw that and trust your guy in that situation.
Purdy hit the biggest offensive play from scrimmage of the year when he had, Deebo on that 53-yarder right down the middle. He threw another perfect ball to Jawan Jennings, who did make a great catch on it. So everyone's talking about the catch, but that was a dime, to be totally honest with you, from a collapsing pocket. And just look, I have a ton of respect for Brock Purdy. I've been pretty much in the I believe in this guy camp since the minute he touched a football. And for any remaining doubters, again, I don't know what you'd like to see. I don't know what mythical or hypothetical sort of challenge or vision quest he needs to fulfill before you're going to believe in the guy. He is off to from a quarterback rating in his first 25 games, he is the best quarterback rating of any quarterback since the merger. So if you've been saying, I don't think this guy can play, what you're saying is, I don't even understand what I'm looking at.
Right.
I'm clueless at what I'm looking at because one of the greatest starts in the history of the position completely flew over my head. So, that's choose your content creators carefully.
Yeah, I don't know what else more Brock Purdy has to do. The guy's having a phenomenal year.
I do.
What's that?
Win a Super Bowl.
That's
the only thing left.
That's it. He does that, and there's nothing left to discuss, right? So hopefully he.
Well, you would think. You would think.
That box.
But there's still going to be people out there that say something. What are your thoughts on Nick Sorensen so far?
Too early to cast it. Let's say the 49ers defense had just been playing hair on fire level excellence. I would say it's too early to say, oh, he's a modern Buddy Ryan. He's 4 games into his career here. It has not looked fantastic at times. Some of the choices just to continue to keep on going with Devondre Campbell, who I think has been an attack point for every single offense that has faced the 49ers so far this year. Isaac Yiadom has been a little bit of an attack point, and we're seeing more Renardo Green now. Yeah. With D Winters sort of showing up now in the mix, maybe we see more of him. They are still playing without Talanoa Hufanga, who I think is going to be a game changer. Malik Mustafa is growing through, his growing pains right in front of us as a young player. It's here's the thing. It's not nearly as problematic as some people would think, but welcome to the big leagues, buddy. You're going to get criticized. Every single game gets a Super Bowl level analysis applied to it in 2024, comparing to the way we would just watch any regular season game back in 2004. A 20-year difference, but the attention is now suffocating on everything. And everyone wants to be the first to correctly predict what we're going to see out of the entirety of this guy's career.
Yep.
I still don't really understand, and maybe in the coming weeks and months, we will have a better idea of the Nick Sorensen, Brandon Staley relationship. But I'm not about to declare this, a failed experiment or an over promotion yet. I think we're far away from that still. Let's take a breath. Let's see what the next 4 weeks look like before we come back with any sort of declarative statement. I think Greg Olson's best line last week was, the Niners are 2-2, and given everything that's happened, that feels about right. It really does. Given everything that's happened to this team, I know that everyone has grand expectations at all time. Fans want the Niners to win the Super Bowl every week, and anything less than having won the Super Bowl against the New England Patriots, they're not going to like it. They're going to complain about victories. That's what people do for the 49ers fans. They complain about victories. And that's just the level of scrutiny that this team is under. Give it time. Yeah, I guess my official position on Sorensen is give him time.
Yeah, a lot of people with D'Amico Ryans, they were very negative towards D'Amico Ryans.
Right.
So I agree.
Get him back, right? Everyone would love to have D'Amico back. He's the best. He's
yeah, exactly.
Give it time.
I saw something today on Twitter that if it doesn't work out in New York with Robert Saleh or Mike McDaniel gets canned, do we get the band back together? And,
that's been going around.
I think I would actually pass on Robert Saleh, though.
Jeff Ulbrich is the guy that you might be interested off that Jets staff if it were to break apart. But no, look, it's not exactly working out smoothly with the New York Jets, but Robert Saleh is going to be a better coach having gone through the crucible of just trying to be the head coach of the New York Jets. I really believe that. So who knows? Let's not, again, I am not interested in what the 2025 49ers coaching staff might look like. I'm only interested in 2024. So I'm not thinking that far ahead at all.
Exactly. 1 week at a time.
One game at a time, one cliche at a time.
Yes.
There you go.
One cliche.
All right, so let's get back to special teams. I know this is Maddie's favorite subject.
Why is he still employed? I don't understand. I don't get it. I don't. Every week, I just see a bad special teams play, and I just post on whatever social media I can find that he's still employed, and I don't know why. I can't get anybody to answer me why, because there's no redeeming quality here. Is he the kicker whisperer or something? Am I missing something? I'm not sure. I don't even know how that really works. Allegedly, kickers aren't even talked to by anybody. So do special teams coaches really even how is he so bad that this special teams is that bad, right?
Well, look,
I feel like you really have to go out of your way to damage the special teams, is what I'm saying.
Right. Brian Schneider showed up with an impressive resume. And that must be how they're still evaluating him, because what we're actually getting out of this guy's special teams unit for a couple of years now, it's just been an underperformance. Again, just fielding a punt is something most high school football teams figure out, and
never,
for whatever it continues to be Mount Everest for the 49ers. Who can even field a punt, much less crack off a good return or how you end up blocking it. It's a little nuts, through 4 weeks of action. We've seen, I've written this down. We've seen a block punt, a muff punt, a surrendered fake punt, horrible coverage to set up the game-winning field goal in LA, fumble just last week that let a completely incapable Patriots team feel like it was capable of climbing back into that game. How many bites of the this isn't working apple is Brian Schneider allowed to have? And apparently the answer is he gets to eat a whole bag of apples. I mean, I don't understand it. And I don't know if this is the right answer, but I think I have the answer. Why is he still in the job? It's because the 49ers don't let coaches go in season. They don't. I mean, think about it. When's the last time the 49ers fired a coordinator, fired a coach, outside of, a head coach decision, which you do for all the drama that comes with it. Now Jim Tom Sula is an interim coach, blah, blah, blah.
Poor Jimmy T.
Yeah, it's just not the Niners' modus operandi to dismiss a coach mid-season, the same way it's not their modus operandi to approach a player early in a negotiating window. They take negotiations all the way up. Ask Brandon Ayuk and Trent Williams about this. They will take negotiations to the 11th hour. As a matter of fact, they don't even start a negotiation till the 10th hour. So, look, it's got to improve. I mean, they must believe that he can improve this, that the right players, when they finally figure out who's good at whatever they need anyone to be good at, will improve this. But it's just, it's been a blind spot for Kyle Shanahan for years now. And
blind spot before that too, though. I mean, let's be real. Our special teams has never been great.
Kyle Williams, anybody? Or is
how many? We still have not replaced Ted Ginn Jr., right? Like, legitimately, that's not. And if you even go back to the first Super Bowl, they Amos Lawrence fumbles the kick away. Like, luckily, Kenny Anderson throws a pick.
Look,
like the special teams in this franchise is just bad for years. I don't understand it.
Right.
Ted Ginn Jr. wasn't even that good when he was here at it. I mean, he was just competent. Right? He was just serviceable, and that's all I really want. Like my bare.
I don't want to talk about it.
That's
the thing. It's like Trent Williams. If you don't talk about it, it must be good, right? We wouldn't be talking about it unless it was super outstanding or it completely sucks, and it completely sucks.
Yeah, I just try not to make a mistake. That's it. We're at the barest minimum of standards. Yep. Just catch the ball and take a knee if you have to. I mean, Jesus. I mean, just whatever you need to do to not turn the ball over or have a level of coverage that is allowing the other team to start somewhere around midfield. Just do that. It seems pretty. It's a very small ask of the special teams.
I mean, Isaac Guerrero wasn't even hit, and he muffed the punt.
Right.
Isaac Guerrero
he made a
seems
terrible
to have
play.
Sermon disease, where like he doesn't know where he is on the football field. Sometimes it's like he's been time traveled from the year 2135 into the middle of a football field in front of 65,000 people, and he has absolutely no idea what he's doing, which is absolutely bizarre. But like him and Trey Sermon are so like. They would get the ball and it would just be like, do you know what you're doing right now? Like where you're going? They drop the ball. Like they had never played the game before in their life.
Maddie, I think you just gave Isaac Guerrero his first nickname. He's going to be called Quantum Leap from now on. Quantum Leap.
That's Sam Beckett.
Quantum Leap. That's how awesome.
Which that's actually another concern, the depth behind Jordan Mason.
Oh, yeah.
Something that we were talking about on Wake Up this morning. Leonard Fournette is just sitting on those streets right now, just waiting for somebody to give him a call. A guy that was in training camp with the 49ers, Matt Breida, is just out on those streets waiting for a phone call. They don't need to trade anything or anyone. They don't need to give up a singular asset. All they got to do is sign a paycheck to get those guys in. Or you could actually start exploring the concept of using your own depth chart. What is Patrick Taylor doing on this team? Why is he here? Why did he make the roster?
He's really good at special teams. Oh, wait, no, just kidding. No one is.
Thank you. Thank you. So, this is one of those. Look at it this way. If I had to bet on Jordan Mason having to go to Germany to see his, Achilles tested out, Kyle right now has him on pace to break Frank Gore's single season carries record by about 70 carries. So it is unsustainable. They need someone to be his backup and it doesn't look like Garendo is really here to fit that bill. So you either solve this problem with Patrick Taylor or you go and get someone else who can help this guy out, because you just can't ask him to carry the ball 28 times a game for 17 straight weeks.
No, you can't. But I want to go back to special teams because there's Jake Moody's been on my mind. I don't really have too much confidence in Jake Moody.
Tough.
I know.
Sorry,
I know.
he's your kicker. He's your kicker for years. I think he's got a really big leg. He look at it this way. He's the least of my concerns on special teams. If we had to sit down and actually, as a matter, I'm sorry, Tabor Pepper, your long snapper, is the least of my concerns on special teams. After Mr. Pepper, it would be Jake Moody. Jake Moody's having a better year than Mitch Wisnowski's having right now. So I'm really not worried about Jake Moody. Maybe I'm just not allowing myself to worry about Moody. This league is now asking kickers to hit 50-plus yard field goals just on the reg. Like we all expect it every single week. That's a big kick. That's a hard kick still. It really is. I know people love that they've hand selected. This is the guy we're going to criticize. It's Moody. To me, I don't have a problem with how he's playing at all. I didn't even have a problem during his rookie year. And then, of course, after not missing a single point after touchdown, he does it in the Super Bowl and, directly contributes to an overtime loss with that action alone. But he also hit the longest field goal in the history of the Super Bowl? If not the Niners.
For a moment, yeah.
So, yeah, for a minute, yeah, maybe that got passed later in the game. But I've got a 5-year-old and a 3-year-old, and I have a limited space in my mind for things I can worry about. And right now, Jake Moody's not one of them.
Okay. Dominic Pooney.
A+. What a debut. Seriously, is this guy going to be a Pro Bowler in the next 3 years? Probably. I mean, it looks like they have found a solution in the middle of their offensive line that they were desperate to find. This guy is the real deal. He's given up one pressure over 4 games or whatever it is, 0 sacks. He's a total stud. I mean, you couldn't ask for more. And I know that the 49ers fans are still upset that they didn't come away with more offensive line help in this last draft. But if you come away with a guy who instantly is playing like a Pro Bowler, you had a really good offensive line draft. You really did. So Pooney, A+ debut so far. And there's not a lot of A+ to be handed out on this team, but I'm going to give him one.
Yeah, I agree with that. Talking about the Arizona game, and this is the last one for me, Damon. I know you're not feeling well, so we're going to let you go after this.
Am I schwitzing? I feel like I'm schwitzing here. I don't know if it's like me and feeling oogie or if it's the fact it's 92 degrees in San Francisco today. But I feel dewy. So pardon me.
It's the condensation.
Okay.
You're glistening.
Thank you.
Sparkle.
It's like splash dance. Like I pulled the thing in the bucket on me.
When I was just thinking Jennifer Beals when I looked at you. So totally.
Thank you very much.
Uncanny beauty, right?
We saw Patrick Swayze, but okay. You do you.
Yes,
all right.
Jeff.
So your X factors for this game.
Man, just started looking at it today. So I already need an X. Oh, okay. I got it. Hello, Ricky Pearsall. I got no idea what to expect. This is the week that we're supposed to see him for the first time. What does that mean? Does he just dress? Does he get 10 snaps from the line of scrimmage? Will he see more than 1 or 2 targets? Will he even play, even if he does dress? But to me, Ricky Pearsall has not played a football game of consequence since his last game of Florida. He's not felt any contact beyond casual, non-contact practice field contact. So what he looks like or contributes, I'm totally fascinated. Maybe that's more curious about him than I am declaring him as like an X factor. To me, like the week in, week out X factor is Juwan Jennings now, right? I mean, Juwan Jennings is just, he's more than third in Juwan. He might be this team's best wide receiver. And with an improving Ayuk and an always fan favorite, very good Deebo Samuels, maybe Juwan Jennings is still the best wide receiver on this team. So continue to keep him heavily involved in game plans. He is already outproduced last year. He's already this year through 4 games had more production than he did through the entirety of the regular season last year. So I'm going to go with Jennings.
Yeah, I think Kyle said today that Ricky Pearsall, they're not going to open his practice window until next week.
Yeah.
Oh, see, so when I wrapped up with Wake Up with Larry, I went upstairs and I just got in the bed and I didn't get out until I came to talk to you. So I did not hear Kyle's press conference saying that Ricky Pearsall his window didn't open. Okay. Well, there's an X factor. I didn't even know that. So I'm glad that I gave you 2 answers. I'm going to stick with Jennings then over the guy who's not even playing. But that's too bad. Well, I get maybe hopefully we'll see him against Seattle.
Yeah, they opened Clea Davis.
That's good.
But not Ricky Pearsall.
Okay.
Unfortunately. All right, Damon. Thank you so much for your time.
It's great to see you. Thank you for having me back.
Thanks, buddy.
Yes.
Get well.
Thanks to all of you. You guys do a great job. Your new open this year, the video that you run, fantastic. Really good job. And Jess, thanks so much for coming out to Sam's Chowder House. I hope you had a wonderful meal. I hope you enjoyed it. They're a sponsor of Wake Up. So thank you for supporting what we do. Jess, thank you so much for inviting me on the show. It's always a pleasure to join you. And I tell you what, let's do it again before this season is over, when I'm feeling a little bit better, and we'll have a longer talk deeper into the season when we, actually kind of know what we're looking at. So how about let's do this again mid-December. Sound good?
Sounds good.
I like that.
Yeah.
All right.
It'll be a little Christmas
great
gift to
idea,
NFL fans
Revisit
everywhere.
The Sorensen conversation.
Yeah.
We'll run him out of town in December if we don't
Will
like
Brian
him.
Schneider
There
join
you
us?
go.
Will Brian
Brian
Schneider be
Schneider.
there?
Brian.
Find out.
Thanks so much, everyone. Have a great
See you,
day.
Damon.
Take it
You
easy.
too. Feel better. All right, Damon Bruce. I felt bad. He was definitely under the weather today, but was kind enough to join us. All right, guys. So I had said that I was a little nervous about this Arizona game. And by the way, Maddie, to answer your question, Ty made this shirt.
That's fantastic. I love that. Love.
So shout out
That's
to
going to
Ty.
be. I apparently I'm going to be ordering some stuff from Ty. Is really what it boils down to. Also, speaking of ordering things, Jess, don't we have people should be ordering from? Are there things that should be happening as a
yes. And we have faithfulgear209.com, made by the faithful for the faithful. And we also have hellafitted.com. Go and get your 49ers gear. And if you're not a 49ers fan, they also make other things. But go get your 49ers gear. And tell them that the ECRG sent you. All right. So Arizona always plays us tough. I'm more nervous, I think, because of how we started off the season at 1-2. Now we're at 500. We're at 2-2. We seem to be, you would think, coming into our own, going into, this Arizona game. It is at home. What are your thoughts, Ty, on this game coming up?
It's a game we should win easily. It's a game that reminds me of how both teams were going into that game in Mexico a few years ago. They're young and upstarty, but they got holes and deficiencies all over. And if we just do our thing, we should be fine. They can't stop the run. They can't stop the pass. Well, hello. If you're sucking that way, right. What are you going to do, right? And Kyler's not running around as much, but their offensive line has some blocking issues. Well, that bodes well for us. And I know everyone's scared about Marvin Harrison, and he's a good receiver, but you take away that one Rams game where they just left him wide open all game, he's been average. Nothing we can't handle. So it's a game that we just got to come out and play 49ers football, and we should be fine. But just don't get overconfident and then shoot ourselves in the foot. And next thing you know, they're in the ball game. So we just got to be us. And I think Sunday was that tune-up game for us being us.
Becca, what do you think?
I think I'm more worried about the run game. Like we seem to have a little bit of trouble this early season stopping a good run game. And the last thing we need is James Conner, right? His name's James Conner running all over us. So I am a little worried about the defensive line, really, really putting the stop to the run. I agree, Ty, that they should be able to get some pressure on Kyler if he's going to stand in the pocket, but we know he's very mobile. So it's the other issue. And we've got some holes in the safety, in our secondary that they're just going to keep taking pop shots at. He's going to exploit that if he can. So I think I'm probably most concerned with how well the defense is going to hold up against them. They know us very well, and they're gonna try and take advantage of the deficiencies we have right now.
Maddie?
I really wish Washington hadn't done the thing last week. I think that's really the thing that gets me, right? Because I think a division game, if the Rams game a couple of weeks ago didn't wake us all up and remind us, even the Rams game to end last year, right? To me, I feel like even with Sam Darnold starting at quarterback, you should beat the Rams in a meaningless game, right? It's almost like it broke the seal, and then they come out this year and then they carbon copy it. So that creates a little bit of damage. So now you've got two big division games coming up. And if you lose both of those in a worst case scenario, right? And I'm not saying they would, you're staring 0-3 in the division in the face. And kids, that's not a winning formula. Okay. That's not how we're at that point. You're not looking at playoff plans. You're looking at who do you think they're going to draft this year? So we don't want that. So this is a huge game, I think, for them, but also for Arizona. Like I said, they got pantsed last week on national TV. That game was all over Red Zone last week. The league is already in love with Jaden Daniels. So anytime Jaden Daniels is basically like that new puppy. Even if he pees on the rug, everybody's going to think it's cute. Even if he throws an interception, they're going to be like, wow, he's like a riverboat gambler. He's learning, so it's going to be fine for him to do that. Whereas if Caleb Williams does it, they're going to be like, wow, that's really bad decision making by Caleb Williams. What's wrong with you? Even though he's basically doing the same thing and learning on the job. So keep those things in mind. James Conner has looked a little washed this year, honestly, knock on wood. I'm going to hope that continues. He has not looked as good as he has. The guy I'm always concerned about on that side, Trey McBride may be back this week as well after concussion. And we seem to have a hell of a lot of trouble covering tight ends because, we can't seem to keep linebackers healthy outside of Fred Warner. 2024 Defensive Player of the Year, Fred Warner, by the way. Thank you. So hopefully that straightens itself out. But yeah, you're damn right to be worried about this game, right? Because then you got the short week coming up. I'm not just worried about this game. I'm worried about getting out of this game, getting out of it healthy so that you can get up to Seattle and survive it. That's a big game for them. I don't know. Have you guys looked at ticket prices for that Seattle game? That's one of the higher priced ones on the market this year. There's going to be some folks there for old Amazon Prime on a Thursday night.
So here's a comment from Kenny. Fred is better without Greenlaw.
Maybe because he has to do more, but I don't really want him to have to do more because, I don't know.
I think Fred is Fred.
Yeah.
It's just that you don't have that complimentary linebacker also making plays to say, oh, they're a duo. We don't have a duo. We have a solo act right now. So he's standing out more. His play is standing out more. If Dre was there, making plays, slamming people like Dre was, we'd be talking about both of them equally. I think that's the only dynamic. That's the only thing that's different. Fred is just Fred, and he's a hell of a player. He's always been a hell of a player. So
I think the defense would be better. Fred is still going to be at his same caliber of play, but our defense would be better because now we have copy, and rinse and repeat on the other side. So
what I'm rooting for is for other teams to just start packing it away, right? They just start letting guys go for late round conditional picks or pick swaps or this, that, or the other. Or they just start cutting guys and putting them on the street in terms of defensive tackles. Like you're gonna start seeing that as teams start to, those Carolina Panther-y teams, those New England Patriot-y teams. They'll let some of their higher priced guys go, and we saw how that went last year. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, but this team's typically pretty active at the trade deadline, and I can assure you, if somebody becomes active, they'll go after him. Just not Devontae Adams, because there's absolutely no need for us to go trade for Devontae Adams. So just stop it before you even suggest it. Thank you.
it's too late. It's already out there.
I know, but it's sad because it's never going to happen. So it's like I don't know, man. It's like watching hamsters on their wheel. Like, they're having fun, but when you see the bigger picture, you're like, man, that really hurts.
And all right, such a waste.
Yeah, Devontae Adams is not coming here, folks.
No, he is not walking through that door.
There's a saying. What is the saying? Progress does not, or motion does not always equal progress. A rocking horse stays in motion, but it makes no progress. So.
I actually saw today that somebody wanted to do a player for player swap. So BA for Devontae Adams.
I'm sure the Raiders would love to take on that, and I'm sure the 49ers would love to accelerate that giant cap hit onto there. I think like if they traded him this year, like I believe there'd be like, I don't know, like whatever the whole signing bonus I think would have to be there. Like
cap hit.
The thing sounds like a mess, so that's not going to happen. Once you sign him, you've signed him, and that's it. So that's that. And they moved money around for Debo, so I don't think they're just going to go, putting him on a jet to Vegas. Although Debo would be a perfect Vegas guy, wouldn't he? And there really does seem to be like a trend of former 49ers going to play for the Raiders. So I could totally eventually see that at some point. It is funny. There's a couple of Raiders.
Tariq Owens is on the practice squad, not on the 53.
Yep.
Yeah.
But it was good that they signed him again.
You know who I'm glad is back? Jalen Graham.
Yep. Big pickup. Well, we needed a linebacker. So
anything that keeps Demetrius Flanagan fouls off the field is okay by me.
Yeah, I'm definitely not a huge
I'm still
fan
having flashbacks
of
from that Super Bowl.
I just hope D Winners. I like seeing D Winners out there.
Yep.
And he got
Stay
snaps.
healthy.
Yeah.
Hopefully that improves. Give him a little more snaps. Get him involved. Same thing for Ronaldo Green. We saw him get snaps. Let's keep that trend going. Keep working him in the game. Like, give these young guys the opportunity. Not just when someone gets injured and now you're like, okay, well, you're all I got. Get in there. No. Let them get in there, get involved, get worked up so that later on in the season, when these games really, really matter and they're on the field, they know what they're doing. They're not shy, right? This is what we need. Coach them up. Let them play.
Ronaldo Green's
I don't
putting
think
out some major. Oh, go ahead.
I just want to address David's comment. I don't think anybody's like overlooking the Cardinals.
You never do.
It's a division game, and division games are always, tough. The Cardinals could be 0-4 right now. It just
put a knock on us. Somebody said we'll wipe them like the Commanders did, and I'm like, no, I don't think so, because they're a division team for us, and it's never easy. I would agree. We can't take them for granted.
Yeah,
remember Colt McCoy coming in a couple of years ago?
Right.
and wiping our ass in front of the home crowd. I believe that was Alumni Day too.
Yep.
Somebody
I think
gave a
so.
speech at halftime that day. I want to say it was Bryant Young or somebody. And I'm like, what a great way to honor him by like getting your ass kicked by Colt McCoy. Way to go, gang.
No DeAndre Hopkins in that game either.
Yes, I remember that. So like there was absolutely no excuse for it. It was ridiculous. Ridiculous.
Defense didn't show up, and we just kept shooting ourselves in the foot offensively. That's why I said they got to be disciplined, play 49er football, and none of the BS.
Yeah.
Like none of the false starts and illegible man downfield and all that dumb stuff.
Illegal motions.
Smart
How many
football,
of those
you know?
calls have we seen this year? You know,
Exactly.
Well, the one drive, that Brock had the 3 touchdowns on the one drive. I mean, that was just like
that was bad reffing to me. That was terrible.
Oh no,
Yeah,
those
that was
officials should only be allowed to call games on the moon moving forward.
And I've never seen that crew
That is
before.
the only place their license should be valid. Get out. Go home.
I
go
even said
find
out loud,
something else to do.
I was like, who are these people?
Yeah, like when they showed the
I've never
ref on the
seen
screen, I'm like, who? Never saw him before.
Yeah. There's been a lot of calls, bad calls, just crazy. A number of penalties. We've got to make sure they keep that stuff in check. And that gave a lot of life to New England last week, just, helping move the chains, keep drives alive with these penalties. It was nuts.
New England's top offensive player was the officials. That is a fact. Okay.
He was the team MVP.
I watched it with many Patriots fans who agreed. They're like, yeah, they are really like, we've never seen this before. Like if the Patriots weren't already half a corpse, that would have been a much closer game.
Mm-hmm.
But that was one of the things that really made me feel good because they're out there like a prime piece of meat. And you just keep waiting for Nick Bosa to just lose it, right? And just kick somebody's ass. And he finally popped. He was finally allowed to pop. Maybe he broke through the holding. I don't care what the hell happened. But I felt really good after this game about how Nick Bosa looks. Because if he gets back to playing at an elite level, all the rest of this stuff will completely work itself out. But if he only gets back to the level that he was at last year, we are going to have the exact same defense as last year, maybe if we're lucky. That was a little bit of a roller coaster ride last year. I don't want the roller coaster ride like last year. I don't want that again.
But it's not a 49er season without a roller coaster ride. So
I understand. I understand that I'm going to get a roller coaster ride in specific spots. I do not want one with the
special
defense.
teams.
Okay, that is where I'm like, no. Okay, that's my non-negotiable. No, defense should be fine. I don't care if they're on the. You know what? Maybe that's what it is. Maybe Brian Schneider needs to be down on the sidelines. Or up in the booth.
Yeah,
I don't know. Whatever the opposite is of what he's doing now, he should do the opposite.
He should be doing it.
Maybe they should send him to Candlestick and they do the game at Levi's. Okay. I'm also okay with that. I think that is a possible solution that I would be in approval of. So
send him to get some candlestick dirt.
I was just gonna say, go over there and roll around and wallow in the dirt like a pig.
Go to Kezar and sit in the red seats, okay, and just sit there until somebody comes to get you, and then nobody comes to get him. Okay, that's what I think. I like that idea.
He needs a mud bath in it, right? So it pulls all the toxins out and cleanses everything.
Oh yeah,
there you go. It needs a cleanse.
An exorcism of
Special
sorts,
teams
right?
cleanse.
Get his demons out. Yeah.
You're
While we're
welcome,
at it,
Steve,
we'll have him burn
enjoy
a
the
little
jersey. Steve won our Mooney Ward jersey giveaway on Instagram.
Oh,
nice.
People named Steve
Congrats.
always win on this show. It is so bizarre.
And he's a new subscriber, so thank you for that.
Awesome.
Nice.
Shout out to everybody in the chat. I know we're on early today. We were on because of Damon Bruce. But we are back at regular time next week, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. And Steve-O just got his Ricky Pearsall jersey. Nice.
Awesome.
Nice.
Look at that.
All right, so guys, I know Damon's X factor was Juwan Jennings. X factors for this game. Just say offense, defense. What's your game plan that we have to have for us to win this game? Maddie, I'm going to start with you.
Nick Bosa has to set the edge and be right. I want Kyler Murray to be having nightmares about Nick Bosa kicking his ass all week long, in the following week. Right. That's what needs to happen. Nick Bosa needs to have that sort of game, because if you can do that, I mean, look at what the Rams have done to them over the years with Aaron Donald on that line. They've pretty much given the formula as to how to shut down Kyler Murray and how to shut down the Cardinals. Because when you shut down Kyler Murray, of course, you shut down the Cardinals. So hold that edge, pressure on the quarterback, sack him. He can't see over you. He's not going to get around you if you hold that edge. Nick Bosa is the key to this game. If he has more than one sack, they should win this game handily. If he doesn't have any sacks, they may lose this game, or it'll be real damn close, or a lot closer than our blood pressures probably want.
Ty?
Offensively, I'm going to say Kyle Shanahan. He needs to have a balanced game plan, just like last week. If you look down the line, everybody got equal amount of targets. It wasn't one guy had 10 and the next guy had 5 and crap like that. Everyone had an equal amount of targets. We all know the offense is better when the ball is distributed evenly. So we got to keep that going. He just needs to be in his bag and not target one guy. Defensively, I'm going to say defensive line. I love what I saw last week just with the rotation and using everyone. Sam Okinawa and Evan Anderson, who just got called up, was in the rotation heavy. Mm-hmm. And you saw the fruits of it. They were getting after it. And there was even a couple of drives where the drive started and Nick Bosa was on the bench. And they let the other guys rotate in, and then he came in afterwards, a fresh Bosa to get some pass rush. I'm all for it. That was great stuff. So those are my X factors.
I'm going to go with Kenny's comment, and BA will wake up. I'm definitely looking forward. BA kind of had some flashes against the Patriots. He had that catch that he dove out for. I'd like to see him definitely wake up more. I'd like to see him get in the end zone. I think if he gets in the end zone this game, I think all that just kind of goes out the window. $30 million, we paid the wrong guy, blah, 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 all this crap that that we've been seeing. So that's my X factor on offense. And guys, I did not take George Kittle.
It's a surprise, but we're happy to hear that.
I was waiting
Are
for
you feeling well?
No, I'm
Who in the
not.
hell are you? You're worried about the Arizona game. We're worried about Mitch Wishnowsky.
You know what it
doesn't
is?
give a shit about George Kittle all of a sudden. Whatever, the hell of that guy.
We were on at 6:30 today. That's why. I think this is.
Oh, that's what it is.
I think it's the time.
Oh,
those early games always give us trouble.
So
that's what this is.
This is supper time, Jess, not dinner time, Jess. Right? We're the game is on tonight during if we're eating supper, but if we were having dinner, it would be different. Mm-hmm. I understand. Okay, I get it. It makes sense.
Yeah, I better go see a doctor. So BA is my X factor on offense, and then on defense, I'm taking the entire defense. Because you know what, Kyler Murray, yes, he's been in the pocket and he's, that pocket passer, but at the same time, we have issues against mobile quarterbacks. And I don't care who the defensive coordinator is, whether it was Robert Saleh, DeMeco Ryans, now we have Nick Sorensen. We gotta, like Sin said, we gotta contain him. We gotta keep him in the pocket, and we gotta stop the run. So those are my X factors on both sides. Becca.
Yeah, I mean, you guys hit on all of mine already too. I think we definitely should see more BA. I think Kittle being back in that rotation is good. He had some great game, great game and great hands. But I think Jennings distribution of the ball to those guys is going to be, I think, a key priority. Keep Jordan Mason running the ball on offense. So I guess if I had to pick one, I was going to say Brandon Ayuk, because I think we are going to see more targets for him. On the defense, I was going with the entire defense, because we got holes everywhere where it feels like the secondary's leaving, they're taking pop shots at people, at rookies, and we've got holes in the defensive line. We're not stopping the run very well. So I think the entire defense really has to really step it up, other than Fred Warner, who's been the standout. But yeah, I can't disagree with anything anybody said already.
The QR code to the left of Ty is the Golden Heart Fund. Scan that and donate whatever you can. Help them out. Good stuff. And yes, like 49ers Throwback said, please hit the like button. If you haven't already, make sure you subscribe. We are back next week to our regular time of 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. Shout out to everybody in the chat. Don't forget to get your Niners gear at faithfulgear209.com and hellafitted.com. Go help them out. They're good people, and they make really awesome stuff. And with that being said, let's go to our hurry up offense and the 2-minute warning. And Becca, you're up.
Well, I just want to say a shout out to Brock Purdy. He is having, a monumental year already. He's just leading, lighting it up, leading the league and pass rusher ratings and first 25 game, just outgunning everyone by hundreds of yards. So keep up that, Brock. Hopefully shut up the haters, and everyone get back healthy. Hopefully we see Christian McCaffrey before the season ends. Damon said we might not, but let's hope for the best there. And we do get him back in the rotation soon enough. And, let's beat the Cardinals. Go Niners.
Do agree that we need to kind of move forward as if we're not going to have him. We need to focus on Arizona. Like I've said, the division games are tough. And that I was a little nervous, but you know what? I do believe we get this dub. And shout out to everybody in the chat again. You guys are awesome today. Thanks for coming on early with us. And as always, go Niners. Ty?
Yeah, the first 3 weeks of the season was our preseason. Starters don't play. A lot of guys get in there. Some guys got hurt. We took our lumps. And all 3 of those games were winnable. We just lost them at the end. Sunday was our tune-up game. Guys got right. Everything's feeling good. Everything's high. So I think right now, moving forward, we'll see the real Niners. So everybody strap up, because it's going to be fun. Go Niners.
Maddie?
Get your tickets for the KC and Dallas games now, so you can watch them go 5-2 and 6-2. Niners
and where could everybody get their tickets?
NinersNE.com.
All right. See you guys next week. Back regular time, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. Like and subscribe. As always, go Niners. Let's get this dub. And we'll see you next week.
See ya.
And of course, for the upstart 49ers, they're 6 yards away from Pontiac. 3rd and 3.
We'll see a pickup sometime on the right side, possibly.
Montana looking.